I'm going to settle this debate once and for all. In men's circles everywhere, this argument rages on. Should men over 60 date and pursue relationships or embrace the single life? I've sat with hundreds of men on both sides, and everyone thinks their way is superior. The dating guys call the single men giving up on life. The single men call the dating guys desperate and pathetic. Today, we're putting both lifestyles under the microscope and revealing what the data actually shows. My name is Dr. Avery Scott, and as a woman who's coached thousands of men through this exact crossroads, I'm going to give you the raw truth about both paths. What I'm about to share will probably offend someone, but that's because nobody wants to hear that their choice might not be the only right answer. Hit that subscribe button because this is going to get controversial, and you don't want to miss the heated discussion in the comments. So let's start with the single life advocates, because they're usually the most vocal about their superiority. And honestly, they have some compelling points that the dating crowd refuses to acknowledge. Men who choose to stay single after 60 report significantly higher levels of personal freedom and life satisfaction in specific areas. My client James from Seattle told me, "For the first time in 40 years, my schedule is my own. I eat what I want, travel where I want, and spend my money on my priorities." That's not just one man's opinion. That's a pattern I see repeatedly. Single men over 60 typically have more disposable income. No joint financial decisions, no compromise on major purchases, no supporting someone else's adult children or elderly parents. They're investing in their hobbies, their health, their adventures. The average single man over 60 has 40% more discretionary spending than his married counterpart. That's a fact that makes dating men uncomfortable. But here's where the single life gets really interesting. And this is something the dating advocates hate to admit. Single men over 60 often have richer friendships. They're not defaulting to their partner for all social and emotional needs. They're maintaining diverse relationships, joining clubs, pursuing group activities. They're socially engaged on their own terms. Now listen, if you're leaning toward the single life and thinking, "This guy gets it," you need to be honest about whether you're actually equipped for this path. There's a difference between choosing to be single and simply avoiding the challenges of relationships. I've created a living alone checklist that helps men determine if they're truly thriving solo or just hiding from intimacy. Link is in the comments, and I'll explain more about it shortly. But before the single men get too comfortable, let's talk about what the dating advocates get absolutely right. And these points are harder to argue with than most single men want to admit. Men over 60 who are in healthy relationships have measurably better health outcomes. Lower rates of depression, better cardiovascular health, stronger immune systems. My client Robert from Phoenix was skeptical until he noticed he hadn't been sick once in the 2 years since he started dating regularly. His doctor confirmed his blood pressure and stress markers had improved significantly. And here's something that makes single men defensive. Partnered men over 60 typically live longer, not by a small margin, but by an average of 7 years. That's not opinion, that's statistical reality. Having someone who cares about your well-being, who notices changes in your health, who encourages you to see doctors, it saves lives. But the biggest advantage dating men have? Emotional resilience during life's inevitable challenges. When my client Michael from Denver faced his cancer diagnosis at 64, he told me, "I couldn't have handled this alone." Having Sarah there not just for practical help, but for emotional support, made the difference between surviving and thriving. So here's where both sides need to hear some uncomfortable truths because neither lifestyle is the clear winner that their advocates claim. Single men, you're right about the freedom and autonomy, but let's be honest about the shadow side you rarely discuss. The burden of managing everything yourself can become overwhelming. Home maintenance, health crises, family emergencies. When it's all on your shoulders, that freedom can feel like isolation pretty quickly. I've seen too many men who chose the single life find themselves genuinely lonely at 70, realizing that casual friendships aren't enough when facing serious life challenges. The men who thrive single long-term aren't just avoiding relationships. They're actively building support networks, maintaining family connections, and creating meaning beyond themselves. Dating men, you're absolutely right about the health benefits and emotional support, but you're deluding yourselves if you think modern dating over 60 doesn't come with serious downsides that single men avoid entirely. The dating pool over 60 is complicated. Most available women come with significant baggage, financial stress, health issues, complicated family dynamics. My client David from Austin spent 3 years dating women who expected him to solve their problems rather than enhance his life. That's not partnership. That's becoming someone's solution to their unfinished business. And let's talk about the financial reality that dating advocates hate acknowledging. The average man over 60 in a relationship spends 60% more on entertainment, travel, and daily expenses. Those aren't just numbers. That's retirement savings being redirected to support someone else's lifestyle expectations. But here's where this gets really interesting. Both sides are missing the crucial factor that determines success in either path. The men who thrive single are those who chose it consciously after understanding both options. They're not running from intimacy. They're prioritizing different values. They've built support systems, maintained friendships, created purpose beyond romantic relationships. The men who thrive in relationships are those who enter them from a position of strength, not need. They're not dating to escape loneliness or to have someone take care of them. They're choosing to share an already fulfilling life with someone who adds to it rather than completes it. Now, if you're in the dating camp and want to do it right, you need to know whether you're operating from strength or desperation. My 60-second attraction test reveals exactly that. Whether you're projecting the confidence that attracts quality partners or the neediness that attracts users. Links in the comments below. Comment with single if you believe the single life is superior, or dating if you think relationships are worth the complications. Let's see where this community stands. Here's what both sides get wrong about the other. Single men aren't all bitter misogynists hiding from commitment, and dating men aren't all desperate codependents who can't function alone. Both paths can lead to fulfillment when chosen consciously and executed properly. The single men who struggle are those who drift into it by default, who mistake isolation for independence. They're not building rich, meaningful lives. They're just avoiding the effort that relationships require. The dating men who struggle are those who pursue relationships to solve problems rather than share joy. They're looking for someone to manage their loneliness, organize their social lives, or provide meaning they haven't created for themselves. So here's my controversial conclusion. Neither path is inherently superior. Your success depends entirely on your self-awareness, your motivations, and your execution. If you choose the single life, you must actively build a support network, maintain social connections, create purpose and meaning, and honestly assess whether you're thriving or just avoiding. The living alone checklist I mentioned helps you evaluate whether you're truly equipped for this path. It's not just about enjoying solitude, it's about building a complete life without a primary partner. If you choose the dating path, you must enter it from strength, not need. You must be able to walk away from situations that drain rather than energize you. You must understand that modern dating over 60 requires skills and boundaries that many men never developed. Both paths require intentionality. Both paths have genuine advantages and real costs. Both paths can lead to fulfillment or misery depending on how you approach them. The 60-second attraction test is for dating men who want to assess their readiness and appeal. The living alone checklist is for single men who want to ensure they're thriving, not just existing. Both are in the comments below. Choose based on your path, not your fears. If you want to understand the specific challenges modern dating presents, watch my video, How Modern Women Are Draining Older Men Unknowingly. It's essential viewing for anyone considering the relationship path. Subscribe and ring that notification bell because this comment section is about to explode and you don't want to miss the follow-up content addressing your responses. Comment with your biggest insight from today's discussion. Are you single by choice or by default? Dating from strength or from need? I read every response, and your honesty might help another man make the right decision for his life. Remember, both paths can lead to fulfillment, but only if you choose them consciously and execute them properly. I'm Dr. Avery Scott, and whatever path you choose it with your eyes wide open.